Welcome in, everyone, to Nitro. We've got a jam-packed show for you this week. And to kick off the night, it's the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. Cody, who last week on Thunder was supposed to tag with Jey Uso and take on Gallows and Anderson. Jey never made it out to the ring. We didn't know what was going on. It turned into a handicap match. After the match, Abyss would enter the ring as well, and it would turn into a 3-on-1 beatdown. Then we found out what happened to Jey Uso. He was attacked back in the back by this mystery group that has been targeting those close to Roman Reigns. Not only have they been very active on the WWE shows, we found out last week they would show up here in WCW as well. Cody coming into Thunder last week off a very big high. WrestleMania 3, he defeated the Monster Abyss in a Monsters Ball match. But all that positivity, all that momentum would come to a screeching halt thanks to Gallows Anderson and Abyss. Cody says, Abyss, Gallows Anderson, I hope you guys had fun last week. You took advantage of Jey not being able to come out for our match, and hey, good for you. But I just talked to Eric Bischoff, and he's agreed to give me a match on this weekend's Backlash show. So it'll be the three of you against me and two partners of my choosing. And while I'd love for Jey to be involved in this match, he's got his hands full at Backlash. And I don't think I'll have any trouble finding two guys that would love to get their hands on the three of you. Cody's in the market for some tag team partners. Who will they be? Our opening match is going to see Joaquin Wilde, who is already in the ring, and his opponent, the WCW Cruiserweight Champion, El Grande Americano. El Grande Americano will have his first Cruiserweight title defense this weekend at Backlash, as he defends against the former Cruiserweight Champion, Ilja Dragunov. And if you hear the crowd, kind of a mixed reaction. Some buying into the belief or the conspiracy theory that it's actually Chad Gable underneath that mask. And the other half of the crowd, they're not buying it. I don't know either way. It is kind of funny that Chad Gable would lose the WWE European Championship at WrestleMania 3. And then later in the night, El Grande Americano would be the mystery cruiserweight that was brought in to compete in that gauntlet match for the WCW Cruiserweight Championship. But if you're El Grande Americano, tonight, a more pressing matter beyond your secret identity could be getting out of this match, as it has been all Joaquin Wilde here. Wilde with the cover. Only gets a 1 as El Grande Americano able to get his shoulder up. Delivers a kick to the head. And now we're going to see a little bit of offense from the Cruiserweight Champion. Like I said, he will have his first defense this weekend at Backlash. And for somebody like Ilja Dragunov, who has been a great Cruiserweight Champion, he was really the deck, the odds, greatly stacked against him at WrestleMania. Defending the Cruiserweight Championship against 7 other Cruiserweights in a gauntlet match where you don't have to be the final pinfall or submission to lose your title, and he wasn't. He was actually eliminated by El Grande Americano, and the final 2 competitors in that match were El Grande Americano and Santos Escobar. Dragunov will get his rematch this weekend at Backlash. Headbutt. El Grande Americano hooks the leg. And that will do it. Had to probably put in a little more work than he was expecting, but he does come away with the win. And out comes his challenger, his opponent, later this week at Backlash. We will find out if El Grande Americano is for real or if the Mad Dragon gets back his gold. Making her way to the ring, Lyra Valkyria. She will be going one-on-one with the Queen, Charlotte Flair. Charlotte, a former multi-time WCW Women's Champion. And Lyra, on many occasions, coming very close to becoming a champion herself. Kind of become the underdog of the women's division here in WCW. Goes for a quick cover. Only gets a 1. It's going to take a lot more than that to put the Queen away. That's one thing we could say about Lyra, though. She is tenacious and does not give up. So she has been in enough matches here now. Charlotte kicks her away, but Lyra able to move out of the way. Lyra has had a lot of high-profile opponents. And you really kind of see like she's starting to kind of put it all together. I feel like this new year that is getting ready to hit could be a big year for Lyra Valkyria. Does she stay in WCW? Does WWE see something in her? Potentially draft her over to their brand. I think that's the great thing about the draft. Sometimes you've got some talent that maybe hasn't reached their full potential, hasn't made it to the mountaintop. Sometimes a little change in scenery could be just what the doctor ordered to push them over the top. Maybe that's the case with Lyra. Either way, I think this next year has the potential to be a huge year for Lyra. Charlotte sending Lyra into the ropes, hits a spear. And Charlotte now with the cover. And sometimes you could be in control the whole way and you make one mistake and you end up paying for it. Charlotte Flair picks up the win. Now it's time for our main event of Nitro. We've got a tag team match. The former WCW Tag Team Champions, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, the New Day. They will be taking on 2/3 of the match that we learned about at the start of the show from Cody Rhodes. Gallows and Anderson, their teammate at Backlash, will be the Monster Abyss. I'm sure Cody has been working diligently in the back tonight, trying to find himself 2 tag team partners to team with him at Backlash. Look, Gallows, Anderson, Abyss, AJ Styles. The way that they've carried themselves over these last few months, there's not going to be a shortage of guys in that locker room that don't have a bone to pick with that group of men. Woods makes the tag, in comes Kofi. But hey, at the end of the day, it has worked out well for all parties involved. AJ Styles still the WCW World Champion. Abyss, since he made his debut back at Starrcade. Outside of WrestleMania 3, has been a force of destruction here in WCW. Anderson able to make the tag. In comes Luke Gallows. Gallows and Anderson, who returned to the open mic universe back at Starrcade as well, after failing to come to terms on a new contract back in the fall. And that's really what snowballed this new change in attitude in AJ Styles. The way that he felt his buddies, and in all honesty, the most decorated tag team in WCW in the open mic universe. Kind of felt that WCW management lowballed them with the offer that they were presented. And Gallows and Anderson did what anybody in their spot would do. You can either sign the contract that's presented, or you refuse and you walk away. They walked away and then came back at Starrcade. And at this point, it's been all about keeping that big gold belt, that WCW World title, around AJ Styles' waist. But now that we've gotten through the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, now maybe the Good Brothers can put some attention towards getting back on top of the tag team mountain. Kofi here in some trouble. Gallows goes for a cover, but Kofi able to kick out at 2. Gallows now continuing the punishment. Big club down to the back of Kofi Kingston. Now Gallows, big elbow drop from the second turnbuckle. That's a lot of weight crashing down on Kofi. And now in comes Carl Anderson. He's back in. Kofi rolls out of the way, but Anderson hits a rocket kick. Moves Kingston away from the ropes. Hooks the leg. Woods comes in, but it won't be in time. Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, your winners. And as they celebrate, here comes LA Knight and R-Truth. I guess Cody found his 2 tag team partners, and they have shown up here to give the Good Brothers a little preview of what they may have in store for them this weekend at Backlash.